It's Chris here with the X98 Pro, finally running Android here. I managed to flash over Android and Windows later with the Windows image there. So I now have dual boot on the X98 Pro. So this originally came out with just Windows, and this is of course the K9C3 model, and it's running the K9C6 dual boot ROM now here. So you can see there's a lot of bloaty applications on there. That's pretty normal for tech class. They just cram so much junk on there. It's all in Chinese. Luckily we can remove most of it. Now just for this video here, I've actually left all the applications on there and haven't actually gone through removing them all myself. But you can uninstall pretty much most of them. There's a couple, I think, like this one here. No, actually I can remove that. There's probably about 3 or 4 you can't remove, but later if we can root the tablet here, which I haven't actually tried that just yet, I will update that later on if we can root it. Then once you get root, we can go and remove some of the crappy stuff on there. Now Play Store is working, just show you that it boots up just fine, but it originally didn't on this ROM here. It had a small bug. I think there was a problem, and TechLast have actually corrected that. So you need to run this application here, which is called the TechLast update, and you just go through this here and you download online upgrade, and at the moment I have the latest version, so it'll run an update, the tablet will reboot, and it will apply that update, and then Play Store will work for you, which is good. They have the fix pretty quick on that. And auto rotation there, it seems to be playing up actually. Look at that. Doesn't want to rotate for me, or I don't have it selected. What is going on here? Auto rotate is enabled. Come on. There we go. Okay, so it's a little buggy, things like that. It seems quite smooth so far. My initial impressions are okay, apart from the bloat. Now, the cameras do not work with this dual boot BIOS. Don't know why, but it's probably a problem that hopefully TechLast are going to address that soon. It's kind of a semi-official release, but if you go to the camera here, it's just going to crash straight away. So something in the BIOS is stopping that, and that isn't in Windows 10 as well. It just doesn't work with cameras. So if you're someone who needs Skype or something with a camera, then I wouldn't move over to the dual boot just yet. Now there is an icon here too, boot to Windows. You can also hold down the power button. It gives you the option, boot to Windows, that does work. And a few little features there, of course, of Android 5.1 that it's running. You can also change users. Go and change the users there. There's a couple of Chinese characters still there. For those people that are having trouble, that maybe just flash it. It originally boots up straight away in Chinese, of course. So when you get it in Chinese, jump into the menu here, the settings, and you just need to find that globe looking icon. Touch that, and then you change that over to whatever language you want. Now I did run a couple of benchmarks here for those that are curious to see what scores it can get. I'll just go through those now. If I can find gallery, where's gallery? Where's the gallery? Okay, here we go. And for some reason it comes with some Chinese thing on there. Anyway, here we go. I'll start off here with Geekbench 3 score. So that's less than what I got in Windows. I get the overall impression that they have a governor controlling the CPU, the interactive or whatever it is they're using. It's not so aggressive, and maybe it just doesn't seem to turbo or clock up as high as it does in Windows. And it doesn't get that hot at all, the tablet as well. On the back here, I'm not noticing any heat. Not as much anyway. Here's the Antutu score, so 51,000. Do actually remember that this tablet I did modify, so I'm cheating slightly. Now there's someone on the forum of techtablets.com who ran this, and they got a score of 50,000. So although I'm kind of cheating there with that heatsink mod I did, it's not really helping me that much. And you can see that compared to the Nexus 6 just below it. This is the GPU bench score. Slingshot, 3D Mark Slingshot. Ice Storm Unlimited. Quite a good score, that one. Not too bad. I do find the Antutu score a little bit disappointing. I'm still unlimited there. There's all the scores there. So that's the only benchmarks that I ran on the actual tablet here. So the scores are a little bit disappointing in some ways because the core rev gets about 60,000. So that's not actually that high either. But I just expected a little more out of the new Cherry Trail. But I mean, 52,000 on Antutu I don't think is that bad really. Maybe I'm just expecting too much maybe. And I did install one game here that I'll just give you a quick example of. The battery life so far is still really quite disappointing. I'm not too happy with it at the moment. It doesn't seem any better than Windows on the first install I had, which was just Windows. You're getting around about 4.5, 5 hours, and it seems to be about the same here on Android. Disappointing battery life. I'm just hoping this is going to load up. And the volume is much better in Android. It's just so much louder. So even a demanding game like that, I mean, it's still running fine, the frame rate and everything. Now, free RAM you get, because this system does have, of course, 4 gigabytes of RAM here. On first boot, you get just over 3 gigabytes free, so that's quite good. And if I just clear the memory here, it'll show me how much we get. There's an app there, so you get actually 3.2, you can see there, 3.2 gigabytes. It's quite a lot there, so that's ample memory there for Android to use. It's not bad at all. So that's a quick hands-on there with Android 5.1.